is what are your interpretations about what just happened, right? So here's how I've been kind of teaching this is when you look at those facts and draw, on your piece of paper where you're writing this down, write out what your brain did with each of those facts. Okay. What did you tell yourself about that? And then maybe like free form, what have you been telling yourself about this whole story, this whole narrative that's emerged, right? So Brian, like, what do you, if you can put yourself in that situation, what do you think you're telling yourself about some of those facts or about the whole thing,
Yeah, I mean, again, that first thing was, what did I do, right? There's been a gap. I didn't receive anything. I don't think I did anything.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. Am I going to get kicked out of the program?
Yeah.
Now I have to find a different program and vocation. Is this going to ruin my life? It was also, this is unfair. What is, do I need to prepare anything? And so these thoughts were coming up, interpretations about, well, obviously I did something wrong, right? It was short. She didn't elaborate. Maybe that's out of character. And so I'm interpreting this as I did something and it's truly bad. And this can have catastrophic consequences for my life and the life of my whole family.
Yeah. If I did something wrong, like I will be punished, right?
Absolutely.
Things like that. And so you've got all these different interpretations that are kind of coming from this. Looking at those, are those skewing more positive or more negative?
Almost completely negative. I don't think I experienced anything that I would consider positive.
Yeah. And look, man, like we pay attention to the negative, like so much more than the positive, right? We're hardwired to do that. It's evolutionarily adaptive to like pay attention to the like imaginary threat and be prepared for it rather than like assume everything is going to go fine. And then like a bear wanders into your cave, right? Like that's not, so we're hardwired. It's a predisposition. We're going to pay attention to the negative. Now here's the challenge with this third step here is we notice those interpretations. And if you really see that you've really polarized to that negative side, I want you to try to consider other interpretations. And this is a brainstorming exercise. Throw shit out there that is a positive interpretation based on those facts. You don't have to believe it. I don't care if you believe it. But you have to acknowledge that it's at least as possible as your other interpretation, because like those are just like, things in the wind, right? Like it's not a fact. It hasn't happened yet. So Brian, if you were going to throw out like a positive interpretation on this, what would it be? What are some examples there?
I mean, so she wants to meet with me, right? She was too busy because she was so happy. It was super quick because she was going out to celebrate. And this is going to be a really awesome meeting, right? It could be she got some new news, right? She wants to share it with me. She was overjoyed. And that's what this is about. She needs to talk to me first thing.
Totally. Yeah. Needs to talk to
my brain is on fire because my mind does not believe that at all, but that would be something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what happens. It's like the cognitive dissonance. That's like your emotions are screaming at you, like, don't let me go. No, like, don't think about that other thing. That's not what it is, right? It's the catastrophe. You're going to get fired, right? But this is the point where we start to turn our mind, get a little bit more flexible, right? We're going to consider like, hey, maybe she's meeting with me to be like, about something completely unrelated. Like I'm going to be out of the office for 2 weeks, right? My birthday was on Monday. Maybe she's planning a surprise party for me. I know that's silly and no one's going to believe it, but you got to throw it out there. Like, maybe I'm getting promoted. Maybe she's quitting. Maybe she's announcing that she's madly in love with me. Like, I don't know. Throw it out there. I used to, a former colleague of ours, Colin, when we would, Colin Adamo, when we would teach this skill, he would always say, like, one of your interpretations has to involve like a romantic comedy, someone fell, and then I fell madly in love with someone, right? And I loved that because it's like, force your mind to consider other alternatives. You don't have to believe them, but in doing that, the threat seems less real, right? It feels less urgent, less in front of you. So you start looking at these other interpretations, and then the next couple of steps are going to be similarly structured here. Ask yourself, am I assuming a threat, right? So the next thing that you're going to write out is like, okay, seems like a lot of this, all of these interpretations are, involving like, punishment, right? So what am I trying to protect yourself from? Like, what do you think the threat is here, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is about my career.
Mhm.
This is about my well-being, and that's what the threat is. Everything I've worked for, this one email, it's
Mhm.
exploded. It's over.
Yeah, yeah. So the threat, like big threat, right? Something that you really
Yep.
value, my career, this thing I've worked so hard for, it's going to be up in smoke, right? So then
Yep.
you got to write that down, like name it, right? Put the, turn the flashlight on and look under the bed, right? Let's see if we can find the boogeyman. So the threat is my career is going to be over on Friday at 4 because I'm going to,
Yep.
get fired or get let go. So the next step is to then ask yourself and be like,